I've been talking to the channels, and the one that I'm looking at the strongest, the one that gives me the most leeway, they really want to do this, is the one I'm going to be focused on now. There's a different channel that told me something completely different. It's going to be a bit harder to work with them, but it's not an issue. We'll also get down to that because more options is more chances of success. So the African Sketch Show. So they enjoy the creative, they like the cast and everything, but being that I am new and I'm the executive producer and I'm the owner of the company, they think that everyone else is new in the company as well, whereas everyone is seasoned or whatnot. I wouldn't make that mistake of having a bunch of new people with me. It doesn't make sense. So I see that they only look at the creative. They're not thinking that I've thought of the technical and everything else as well, and the business. So what I want to talk about here is essentially just the business, but it's more of a surface analysis of the whole thing. So I did, I don't know if you guys even remember this shit, it's old school shit. SWOT analysis, I haven't done this in like years. So the strength of my show is that it's diverse, it's an original show because we've been seeing way too many of the same show over and over and over. It's just different editions, different channels, it's all the same thing. They don't have to put in the money because usually what happens is the channel gives you money to make the show and the channel owns it. I'm going for advertiser funded programming, which means that I'll get a sponsor or I'll get it myself. I'll get the money myself to make the show. So they don't have to spend any money on actually making the show. So it's less of a risk for them. As well, it's BEE, you understand? This is entirely black owned so far. I haven't had to give away a piece of my company to anyone. And I mean, you get a larger audience if you put in another component, you understand? If you're only making a certain type of show, your whole lineup, and you're only putting a certain amount of like your money and marketing into marketing a certain show, you're gonna have a certain, you're gonna have, let's say 1 million or 5 million. If you add another kind of show, which would be a comedy show, you can add another million to that 5 or 10 million. It makes it so it's larger audience, right? Which is always welcome. The weakness of the show is that it's unknown. In the sense that I'm the unknown quantity for them as far as the channel goes. I'm an unknown quantity, so that's what makes it a bit harder to sell. And the fact that people may be offended at some of the sketches because as much as it's not South Park humor, it's not anything too out there or too offensive, but it does have certain components where in the 2019 world, people might find it offensive, because people are more sensitive now. So I have to be very aware of that. Opportunities. Branding, first of all. You can't keep saying you're for the youth, you're for black people, whatnot, but you keep making the same kind of show that doesn't show that you're what your brand says you're about. So it goes for branding. When you say black or young and everything, this show, when you put the show on, it shows that you really do believe in the young black people. The threats to the show are other comedies. But now, other comedies, the thing is, with me, when someone asks me what the budget would be for making the show, which not even it shouldn't be as expensive as a regular comedy show because it's a sketch show, so you get away with a little bit of a lower production value. I told the guy it's gonna be like $1 million extra, let's say. If he's thinking 2 million, I said my production cost is gonna be like 3 million. And he's like, why do you do that? I'm like, because the other $1 million is separated from marketing. A lot of South African comedy shows don't get marketed at all, or low to no marketing, so I want to put in all the marketing. So which means other comedy shows, even though they're a threat, it's not really, we make it less of a threat as much as we can. So I guess other threats would be not just other comedies, but other shows that play in that time slot. So the formula for success that I've thought of, obviously this is spitballing, this is my hypothesis, is that it has to be original. We've seen many things over and over and over again. When something original comes along, it's more valuable, it's more interesting, you want to see what it's about. It's not garbage because once you've seen that it's it's original, you look at it and you see that it's trash, you're not gonna watch. Doesn't matter how original the shit is, I'm not gonna watch it if it's bad. And then when you've got an original, good product, the last thing you need is marketing. Anything needs marketing. Even bad products have worked very well in the past because of good marketing. So if a product is already good and it gets good marketing, it's bound to be success. You understand? I don't think there's a components I'm missing out. It'd be interesting to know which components I'm missing, but this is just a hypothesis I thought of like 3 days ago, so I decided to write it down real quick. So if I can fulfill these 3 things, I think I'll be sorted. It should be a success. We're looking to go 3-4 seasons. Let me say 4 seasons. Anything further than that, I don't know if I'll still be inspired to make the sketches or write them down and everything. Unless people come up with good sketches, a team comes up with good sketches, then yeah, sure, we can go for a 7th season, but I don't want to turn into like a SNL, you know what I mean, where it just feels like they're just coasting now. So the pros and cons of this show, it's diverse, it's local, they don't have to pay anything to make the show, and I mean, it opens up the industry. A lot of people have been complaining about opening up the industry, but it's not opening up the industry to people who essentially don't know what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Because we can say open up the industry, but then if the person that comes in because of that is a bad actress or writer or whatnot, that becomes now a thing of we're no better for it. So it's opening up the industry and it's essentially lining up with the whole brand of the channel. The cons of that, unknown company. Once again, I'll keep saying that over and over again because that's the only thing that they're thinking as well. I'm an unknown quantity. So essentially they want me to have what is it called, like a co-production deal. So essentially a collaboration with another production company. Once we get that going, then it's not a problem at all to get it on the channel. The only struggle after that will be the sponsor, which will be interesting to see. What if it's not funny? We're now signed a deal for 13 episodes, 3 months, and then you find out the thing's not funny. The sponsors are watching this thing like, how everyone's slandering the show and whatnot. It still has to run. You can't just cut it. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing, because that's the thing that comes at the very end after all the hard work, after getting the whole cast, getting all the writers, getting the channel, getting the money, and then it's not funny. It's a flop. That's my biggest thing, especially since I don't want to take money out the company before season 1. Everything I get, I'm gonna push back into the company, more marketing, better pay for everyone, just keep everyone satisfied, have the team be satisfied and the company be satisfied so we can make a good product. So it's gonna be sad if that happens and the shit's not funny. But yeah, this is the whole thing. Once we get on the air and the sponsors are happy, and original, not trash, and good marketing, I feel like we've got a good run of success. We've got a good chance of getting success. But yeah, that's the whole thing I wanted to explain to you guys. I'll see you when I talk to the channels again. Right now, I think the more immediate thing would be to get a core production deal. I don't think that'd be too much of an issue, seeing as how the channel is very interested. But once again, I'm going into this with a bit of, I wouldn't say ignorance. I think ignorance is a bit of a strong word, but I can't really speak on what the production company would think on their side, the one I'm gonna partner with. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Wish me luck. I hope it'll turn out good. Hope this video wasn't too bad. I'm not feeling too good today. I'm in a bit of a rush as well. But yeah, episode 3, Inspired Ones. There it is.